today thinking about the law of attraction and the connection of law of attraction with the law of resonance. The law of attraction is our magnetism, but the magnetism is based on what we resonate, how we vibrate. And those go hand in hand with each other. And what I often see is that we want to attract something, but our vibration is not matching that which we desire. So we're not in resonance with that. So even if we can attract it temporarily, we can't maintain it. We can't hold it. When I first started working with with individuals, it was through law of attraction work. And what we would find is we could get someone to attract something and get them in that vibration of that which they want to attract, but they weren't able to maintain it if they weren't doing soul retrieval or feel and process practice. If they weren't working the trauma packets that say, I'm not enough, or I'm not worthy, or I'm not safe, or I can't live without that love, or I can't live without whatever. So if in the body, there's that belief and that vibration and that consciousness, then no matter how much we attract what we desire, the ability to maintain and sustain it gets lost because we're vibrating the antithesis of that. And something that I find really interesting is that some people are very anti law of attraction. Like, oh, that's very consumer, spiritual consumerism. Like you're just trying to get more stuff from the universe. Okay, I see that. And so then they sit back into law of resonance and they're comfortable with just being present, being in their heart, but then are disappointed because the form of life is not really working out. They want to be doing this instead of that. Well, in order to be doing this instead of that, you have to be vibrating that. And that takes an architecting, a building of a vibration, of a specific vibration, and resonating there so that you can attract not this job, but that job. Not that person, but this person. Here's where people get stuck as I watch. Is what they want to attract often has a person's face or name or a business job title or something on it. And we have to keep that fuzzy because the law of resonance will attract to us something even more perfect than that. But we get attached. Our mental body gets attached. It has to be Joe. It has to be, the Deloitte and Touche organization. It has to be, I have to be a spiritual blah, blah. And so once we get attached, then we're not letting the law of resonance work. We become in resistance to that which we want, and that resistance becomes that which we're resonating and therefore attracting. So the moment our mind says, I got to have that, or if I don't have that, it's not okay, or I really need that, as soon as we attach, and that happens through the mental body, the soul could care less. The soul could be happy anywhere. It's our mind that attaches to a certain situation and says, it's okay that I'm this way. It's not okay that I'm that way. It's okay that my husband is this way. It's not okay that my husband is that way. Does that make sense? So it's kind of law of attraction 2.0, which is to say, and that's where the trauma packets are absolutely critical. So in our work in week 1, we're looking at your vibration and your doshas so that you can get realistic. In week 2, we're starting to get you focused on what you desire. And then week 3, we do a deep dive into the trauma packets because they are vibrating against probably that which you desire. And so if that's not fully processed out of the body, that will be your point of attraction. The trauma packets, the unworthiness will be the point of attraction. And the more we run those vibrations on a day-to-day life, that's what we'll be attracting into our life. Always. Our point of attraction, our base vibration, what we're thinking and what we're feeling will always dictate what we're attracting. even if we're doing a DV in the morning for a half hour, a destination vibration. So the feel and process is a key practice in being able to really move through those vibrations that are dictating what you're attracting. And some of our relationships are going to show us that. I have them myself. Like in one relationship, no matter how I show up, I'm always wrong or bad, which reiterates the I'm bad and wrong. And so I know that maybe that person is seeing me through that lens, but I also know that still exists within me if that's how I'm resonating in this relationship. Otherwise, it would just go right over my head if they were judging me or they were saying, oh, that's not right. It wouldn't register in my field if there wasn't something in my body that still resonated with I'm bad and wrong. And then I can co-create that with that person easily. So it's fun. And it's a little grueling if we're attached to a different result. And so we have to surrender. If you saw on the Facebook thread, we talked about discipline and surrender, and the center point, the overlapping point is flow. So there is the working our vibration, doing the feeling process, creating the destination vibration, still going into the body. Where am I not vibrating that? Obviously, I'm not attracting that, right? That takes discipline. And at the same time, we're handing it over and we're like, okay, it's a shit show. All right, here we are. This is where I am right now. I still love myself. I can still forgive myself. I can still forgive that person who's still reflecting that thing in myself. I surrender. I'm still alive. I'm still okay.
Oops.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Whoops. And that's where the grace comes in. Some self-grace of like, oh, I'm not where I want to be yet. But that's okay. It's a practice. It's not a one and done. I'm going to fail. Just like when a child is learning how to walk, they're falling on their ass every freaking moment. And that's what we'll do. We'll fall on our ass. And then we get back up on our canoe and we steady it up, and then we'll fall off our canoe and then we'll get back up. And that's just what it is. That's the practice. And it is a humbling practice if you're authentically working it on all of the dimensions of yourself. It is humbling. It really is, for all of us. None of us get to escape this human lesson. None of us are sitting there thinking we're winning the game. We're all doing this work alongside of each other. I'm not enlightened yet. Laura's not enlightened yet. None of us are enlightened in this organization. So we're all doing it alongside of each other. We don't need to punish ourselves. We don't need to carry the self-doubt, or it just get back up. Recovery time is the most important aspect of healing. Oh, I dipped into those old vibrations. I attracted a big mess. Okay, let me get back on my canoe, steady it out. Recovery. How quickly did I stay in those low vibrations? Did I stay there for an hour? Did I stay there for 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades? How long did I stay in that? People stay in it for decades. So if it was 2 hours, I might have ruined a couple days after, because there's after effects, there's karma, there's carnage to a low vibration. I yell at my kids for an hour. They're going to be like, screw you, mom. I don't want to be around you for like 2 to 4 days. That's the natural consequence of my vibration dropping. And then I have to earn that relationship back with them. I have to do forgiveness work. I have to apologize. I have to work on myself. Just got a thank you text from my daughter this morning. I missed half of my first class and I noticed you didn't bark at me out the door. I really appreciated that, Mom. Thank you for acknowledging that, Lillian. I worked really hard not to bark at you for being late for school today. Okay. It's a human process, and I just honor each of you on that path. It's a humbling path, but it's one of continuous discovery, self-discovery.